Hello, chicas. So here's our last clip that you've asked for. Is for question number 22. It's a algebraic ratio question. I have to confess to you guys, it's a lot more trickier than what you're going to have in the exam. But that's because you always tell me off for giving you easy questions in the prep, and then you find the exam difficult. So here you go. So let's have a look at the question. It says P and Q are two numbers such that P is greater than Q. When you subtract 5 from P and subtract 5 from Q, the answers are in the ratio 5 to 1. So I think I'm going to start writing some stuff up as I go along. So it says you subtract 5 from P and subtract 5 from Q. I'm going to start with that. So it says I start with P and I subtract 5 from it. So subtract 5 from P and subtract 5 from Q. So I can do Q minus 5 for the second part. The answers are in the ratio 5 to 1. So we can put a ratio sign in between our algebraic part as well. So these two ratios would be equal. That's what the question is saying. We're going to apply the same idea for the second part. Of course, if you want to try, give it a go, and then see how I do it. So it says, add 20 to P and add 20 to Q. So add 20 to P and add 20 to Q. Answers are in the ratio 5 to 2. And again, we can put the ratio sign in between them. Find the ratio of P to Q, give your answer in its simplest form. So each of these sentences, usually the question is less involved than this, and you just have one of these like that. It's just one unknown. Unfortunately, we have to deal with these two things. So these equations are telling us all these unknowns, the bits on the left of the equal sign, the bits on the right, they're in a proportional relationship because they're a ratio. And I can gather and I can make out some equations from that. So from the first one, I'm going to say that the first part of my algebraic ratio, so P minus 5, over the second part of my algebraic ratio, so Q minus 5, is equal to the first part of my numerical ratio over the second part of my numerical ratio. So I've got my first equation. I'm going to do the same thing to the second part of the equation. You guys, of course, can pause me and try to do the same. I don't know why it's doing this, but we're just going to have to roll with it. So I'm going to say P plus 20 over Q plus 20 equals to 5 over 2. So now we've got some quite complicated looking ratio questions. I'm going to try to do some cross multiplying because I've got two unknowns. I'm kind of imagining that this is going to ask me to do simultaneous equations because I've got two unknowns and two equations really. So I'm going to try to make them look a bit more simultaneous equation-y. So I cross multiply like I said, which this is what I mean by cross multiplying. So I do P minus 5 times 1, and then I do Q minus 5 times 5. So that's what cross multiplying is. You can rearrange an equation really quickly like this. So P minus 5 times 1 is just P minus 5. Q minus 5 times 5 is like saying 5 bracket Q minus 5. Of course, we can expand the bracket, and I want to rearrange that so it looks like a normal simultaneous equation. So that's what I'm going to aim to do. So expand the bracket. Done. Rearrange it so that I've got the P and the Q on one side and a number on the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to take away Q from both sides, and I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So that's going to give me P minus 5Q equals to minus 25 plus 5 is minus 20. So that's one of the equations I'm going to be using. The second equation, we deal with it in the same way. So I cross multiply, make the two sides equal to each other, rearrange, get my P's and Q's on one side and a number on the other side. Hopefully in the time I've been chatting to you, you've had a chance to do that, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the same. So we cross multiply like so. So I know that I have to do P plus 20 times 2, so that's 2 bracket P plus 20. And that's going to be equal to, so that's the blue path. That's going to be equal to 5 times Q plus 20, and that's the purple path, shall we say. There's not really a purple, but let's not get into that, shall we? Expand my brackets as normal. So I'm not even explaining to you how to do that. Get my Q's and P's on one side, numbers on the other. So I take away 5Q and I take away 40 from both sides, of course. So I've got 2P minus 5Q equals to 100 minus 40, which is 60. So here's my second equation. Now I can do my simultaneous equations. I'm going to write them again here in this bottom left-hand corner and do them as normal. So first one was P minus 5Q is minus 20. 2P minus 5Q equals to 60. So I noticed that thankfully they took pity on us, these examiners, and the 5Qs are the same. They're the same number with the same sign. When we've got the same sign of the numbers that we're trying to cancel out, we know we always subtract. So I'm doing P minus 2P, that's minus P. My Qs have cancelled out. Minus 20 minus 60 is minus 80. So that means P is going to be equal to positive 80. Now that I've got the value of P, I can choose either of the equations to substitute. I think I'm going to choose the first one here, this P minus 5Q. So I take my P equals to 80 and substitute in minus 5Q equals minus 20. Now P is equal to 80. Take away 5Q is minus 20. Let's take away 80 from both sides and we get 5Q equals minus 20 minus 80, which is minus 100. Minus 5, sorry, we have to divide by minus 5. So minus 100 divided by minus 5 is positive 20. So I've got my value of Q as well. Now, let's check. Because when I tried this question, I was getting super excited that I've done it and I've answered the question. I haven't really, because it's saying find the ratio of P to Q, answer in its simplest form. So let's see what's P. P is 80 and Q is 20. If they want it in its simplest form, we divide by 20, both sides, and we get 4 to 1. And that's my actual final answer. All right, so that's it from me, because I see my voice is going as well. But best of luck with your revision. Please watch all the clips. It's super important. And yeah, good luck with all your exams. I'm keeping all my fingers crossed for you. Bye.